either twin flame or soulmate. Now, the thing that fascinates me with this conversation is that I work with people around the world, and I have actually traveled the world working on understanding this question as well. Because I've heard so many different types of scenarios. So many people talk about twin flames, so many talk about soulmates, and I hear so many different types of stories, and it's almost like everyone has it backwards, but yet the same, but yet it's all intertwined, and it's basically about what's convenient to you, but I'm going to talk to you about what the truth is, okay? A twin flame is a relationship that is about growth. It's a relationship that is amazing, but a twin flame is a lustful connection. You understand what I mean by that? So it's a very passionate, very deep, very lustful connection, but it is not a spiritual connection. One of the reasons why it's a familiar relationship is because a twin flame is someone that you've had a relationship with in a past life.
I would like to interject here, because what you've been saying so far is the exact opposite
of what you believe.
Of what the whole twin flame community says.
Yes. I understand.
The terminology is the exact opposite.
And it's
exactly. The common understanding is that we have many soulmates,
right,
and only one twin flame.
And let me explain that. It is wrong.
Why?
Why? Because in America, they have it backwards because it benefits us. And thank you for sharing that, because that is one of my biggest arguments.
I think it's important to clarify.
Yeah, it's super important. Yeah, super important. So it is not true. I have literally, what is your name?
Katerina.
Katerina. I have traveled the world understanding these messages and practicing and learning and trying to find the deep root of the information so that I can share it with you guys. I'm not getting anything out of this. I want to give this information so that you guys have the knowledge to benefit your lives. It's not going to benefit me. I'm already with my soulmate. I don't care. But if you guys don't have the proper information, then you guys are going out there searching for the wrong thing. Do you see? And then you guys aren't going to feel satisfaction. You guys are going to feel lost. A twin is not in any way, shape, or form a part of your soul. A soulmate, think of just the word. Forget about everything else you guys have learned. Think of the word. Soul, your soul that's inside of your being. Mate. Forever. So you can't have more than one soulmate. Even though I've heard this story many times. I've heard this so many times. People always say this to me. But when you go out of the United States, right, and go back at least 30 years, which I've been practicing, and I've been doing this for way more than 30 years, and you practice and you sit there and you try to understand what's the meaning of a soulmate, what's the meaning of a soulmate, go back to Hinduism, go back to Buddhism, go back to all these different beliefs, right? The soulmate talks about being a part of your soul, your whole being, every breath you take. So the twin flame is about a partnership and a relationship that you've had in your past. And people wanted to be able to allow themselves, and this has actually been more famous and more, within the last 15 years, they've actually been having conflict with this exact switch. Within the last 15 years, I'd say. Maybe more like 12, but say 15 to be safe. And before then, I didn't actually hear this switch that much. Like 30 years ago, this conversation was not, oh, it's my twin flame is one and my soulmate's many. People say that because when you communicate with someone who's intuitive or a medium or a psychic or a minister, whoever you want to talk about, and you talk to that person and you sit there and you say, I've only had one soulmate and oh my gosh, my heart's broken and now I don't have my soulmate, now it's over. No, don't worry, honey, you have more than one. And I've heard this story so many times. So it's almost like as if that we've made it. Because remember who writes these books? Who writes books? Does God write the book? Does the angels write the book? Man writes the book. Okay? But when you go back into the scriptures where it wasn't allowing itself, and I'm talking about ones from all different types of spiritual beliefs, it talks about you have one soulmate. And I have spent time in monasteries and very sacred places in the world getting these messages so that you guys can know the truth. Remember this. It's not to make you guys feel happy, good, or sad. It's to so you know the truth. So you can have what? Happiness. So you can finally be able to search for what it is that you're looking for.
But it really is just the label that's been switched.
In my opinion,
the concept is the same.
The concept's the same. Yeah. It's just the label switched.
Oh, right.
Yeah. and end up connecting. I just actually connected with a gentleman today, when I got here earlier today, and he's a client I worked with last year, connecting him to be able to be with his soulmate, and he connected with his soulmate, and it's absolutely beyond the point of amazing and spectacular. And he goes, I never knew that what you said was real until and he just told me this today. He goes, exactly what you said is exactly what I felt. Exactly. That magnetic connection, that feeling of a spark. He goes, I never knew that was real.
The difference between a soulmate and a twin flame?
The difference between a soulmate and a twin flame is twin flames are ones who are a part of our past. Soulmates are as well. So they're relationships that we've had before in our past. But the main difference between a twin flame and a soulmate, really truly, is the spiritual connection. Yes?
Okay, is a soulmate supposed to have like a similar purpose or like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's why I keep talking about the spiritual connection.
Okay.
Yes. Great
'Cause
question.
otherwise-
And you have like several twin flames, several soulmates.
You have one soulmate, several twin flames. When you connect with your soulmate, do you ever see in the movies where it says, I saw fireworks?
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm serious. I am serious. Okay, and they do that, right? When that happens, it's for real. When they do that in the movies, it really happens in real life. So when I was talking to this client, and he told me, he said, I can't believe it. He goes, when I first kissed her, I felt sparks. Just like you said. He goes, and that's what made me know within my whole being that you were telling the truth. He goes, because I didn't believe a word you said. He goes, most people think I'm crazy. He's all, I thought you were crazy. I said, okay, yes, that's fine, I understand. I don't really care what you think of me as long as you're happy. As long as you succeed, as long as you follow through. Because when he connected with her, he said he just felt completely like this eruption, like butterflies. And it's the same for everyone. So whether you believe it or whether you don't believe it, when it happens, it's like a gift, it's like a miracle, it's like magic, you know? And everyone has it. Whether you believe it or whether you don't believe it, it all happened. I was gonna be a nun, and I had it, so I know it's real. One other message I'd love to give to the world, which is so important to me, is one of the main reasons why I also do this is because I have a nonprofit organization called the House of Angels Foundation. And one of my biggest missions in the world is to be able to help to change the vibration of the world by radiating light. So everything I do is about being able to make sure that there's always movement, helping people and helping kids that need to allow themselves to have more spiritual awareness, spiritual awakening, as well as shelter and all this other stuff that they need. Okay, so close your eyes, palms facing upward, please, and let's focus on really connecting to self-love, self-worth, and self-confidence, and visualize the color pink, please. The reason why we're connecting with the color pink is because we're connecting with love.